All right. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So for those of you who may not know me, I am Catherine Chestnut. I am the founder of Alkaloid Networks in Atlanta, Georgia, on the Atlanta Beltline, which is, we're technically in the old Fourth Ward neighborhood. And today I am joined by Liz Deering and Ben Gibson, the founders of Uninc, which is based in Austin, Texas, which is our partner in all things virtual education of all things. So today we're going to talk about Alkaloids work from home membership. And this is a membership that was created at the beginning of COVID-19, and it's designed to support our community. Especially as people are launching new ventures, they're pivoting to something new, or perhaps working on growing their careers. So we'll talk more about how Uninc is a part of that in just a moment. The work from home membership is $35 a month. So I wanted to make it as accessible as possible. So everybody who might need some additional support as we're all adjusting to working from home. And there are 3 things that you get when you join the work from home level of membership, aside from all the amenities that are included, like a unique business address for inbound mail, unlimited conference room usage, and there's plenty of other things. First, you will get the Alkaloid community to lean on, both virtually through the Slack channel and 6 feet away with a mask on. And who are the people in our community? Well, among our members, you'll find web developers, wealth managers, filmmakers, recruiters, lawyers. We even have an amazingly magical chiropractor in here. Some of our members are small business owners. Some of them, actually more than 50% of the community, consists of folks that work remotely for larger organizations. And we get together for regular programming, and it used to be more regularly. Work sprints, coffee breaks, although those are virtual right now. We had a town hall meeting this morning, and everybody's here because they're drawn to the creative vibe and the super friendly, supportive community. So secondly, and now, Alkaloid is open, the physical space is open. The work from home members get 1 day per month of shared co-work space with plenty of precautions. So if you're ready to co-work in real life, we're here for you. And you can see all our safety guidelines posted on the website. And lastly, the thing that we'll talk about most today is our weekly interactive workshops, which are powered by Uninc, the amazing Liz and Ben, and a quarterly Cohort program, which is filled with really interesting people from co-working spaces across the country. I think that's something, Liz, that you weren't anticipating initially, but just how interesting it is that these people that are at co-working spaces across the country right now, and hopefully across the globe eventually, are really helping each other.
Yeah, it's really neat to see people's perspectives, as they're sharing from different points of view, different locations, because everybody really is in the same boat right now, in pivoting or changing direction and able to really help each other in a really different way. So yeah, it's been really neat.
Yeah, it's been really fun for me to get to interview and chat with more mentors than and outside of Austin. Such great talent coming out of the communities that we've been able to put on the platform.
Good. Well, and the people that are attending are founders, freelancers from all different kinds of industries, possibly leaders. So there's just this cross section of diversity, right? Just like you were saying. And the one thing that I really, really love about coming to the sessions is that they're live and interactive. You don't get to just be like some passive observer.
No.
You don't get to hide out. Nope.
They're going to call on you and they're going to ask you questions and yeah, so you don't get to like hide. But I think that there's a lot more value in that, in interaction, as opposed to, you're not just talked at. And I don't know about you guys, but if I don't have to show myself, I can very easily be kind of trying to multitask and not paying attention and getting as much out of the sessions as I could.
I think you're right. When we took the program online in January, we wanted to replicate what we did in person as closely as possible. And part of that was always people sitting around a table, an intimate conversation, everybody sharing. We learn so much differently when we're actually running the concept against our own situation, our own business, our own project. And so then, it's impossible to leave without having gained something when you participate. But yeah, we've been pretty impressed that it really does feel very similar to sitting around a big table with a bunch of folks and getting to share and getting to learn from them.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe we'll get to do that sometime in the future.
I really, really want to.
yeah, being an entrepreneur, if you're talking about any of the topics that you could talk about in business, we just find it so valuable for the entrepreneur to be met where they're at in that topic. So for the mentor to meet them where they're at, or where they're struggling, or where they're thinking about the topic in the context of their own business, is so much more valuable than being talked at. So definitely we're striving to keep our sessions small and intimate.
Well, so that said, can you give a 10-second elevator pitch for what the Unink is?
It's not me.
I think that's me. I'll do it. Yes. So the Unink, originally the Unincubator, is really designed to walk alongside creators and founders as they are starting a venture or pivoting a venture. And we do that through various mediums. The first is, as you're describing, this live hour-long session format. We run those weekly, all month long. And it's all really built around the design thinking framework. And so if anyone's familiar with that, that's really the process of empathizing with your customer and designing a solution that really meets a need. So we work through those topics in our sessions. Each session has a live mentor, and we pick their brain and we kind of unpack everything, and then we give the participants a chance to really ask questions and dig into their own challenges with where they're at right now in their work. And then the second piece that we offer, as you mentioned, is a Cohort program, which we run every quarter. And we group folks together from around the country into a group of 10, and they walk with each other for 5 weeks to go from an idea to a launch of their minimum product. So that could be a website, it could be a flyer, it could be a workshop, it could be any format, but really getting them to that stage of launching something into the world and getting human feedback on it, which is, it's really hard to do when we're perfecting something as the creator of it. You want it to be better and better before you show it to anybody. And in that group setting, we are holding people accountable to get it into the world. So, and we've been doing this since 2016.
Yeah. So what's the mission?
The mission is to walk alongside as many founders and creators as we can around the country, around the world, and to change the way that people experience being a founder, to make it a viable path. So as opposed to only thinking the paths are laid out in front of us, right? School, military, regular job, those all seem like viable paths. We want this to be a viable path in people's minds. Because already thousands and thousands of people around the country have this lifestyle, but it doesn't get the credit that it's due. So our real big mission is to change the narrative of what it feels like and looks like to be a business owner.
So who are the kind of people that I mean, I know we've talked a little bit about this, but tell me more about the kind of people that you see coming and the kind of people that the sessions are really intended for.
It's a really big range. I would say, you know, all across walks of life and ages, backgrounds of all kinds. I think the thing that brings people to the sessions is curiosity or the need to really push forward with something, or struggle of some kind, frustration with what they're working on. You know, we've seen all different types of founders and businesses. We always try to put the founder first and the business second, because we know that creators will generate many ideas over their lifetime. So we see nonprofits, both in, you know, impact work or the arts. We've seen solopreneurs or freelancers doing, you know, filmmaking, productions, musicians, all sorts of different creative fields. We've also seen for-profit companies, all different types, from, you know, partnerships to bigger teams, folks working on education or in the wellness industry and tech, all across the board. So we've always been fairly agnostic about the business category or the format, and really more intentional about helping people connect their why to their work.
And I'll add that the majority of our participants are women, which has been interesting. I mean, we started supporting, our first cohort was women focused, but over time we've seen that women do really well in the program and supporting each other and growing alongside us.
So given the fact that more than half of the members currently here at Alkaloid are remote employees of some kind, you know, I know how I feel about the sessions, offering something to them, but I want to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting, that's an interesting question. You know, over time, we have had folks participate that were part of a team, you know, part of an existing company. I think as long as the work that they're doing is requiring them to do some type of innovation, some type of new problem solving, then they're going to find these sessions really relevant. I'll give you an example. We had a gal a couple of years ago in one of our cohorts. She was part of a large nonprofit here in Austin called Rainforest Partnership, and they were trying to innovate and build a new program, and her job was to do that. And so they sent her through the Cohort program to build that whole initiative out and bring it back to the company. And so we've definitely seen that as a, you know, it's a chance for them to get new inputs that they might not get within their company, and new perspectives to build out a new solution, or maybe pivot something that they're already working on as a company.
Well, and I would also say that people have lots of different interests, not just about like, so, I mean, myself, you know, I'm working on several other projects, in addition to owning and operating Alkaloid. So, I mean, I have benefited from a perspective of things I wanted to know more about Alkaloid, how I could do things better at Alkaloid, but also just some things that I'm considering or trying to work on in my spare time, which there isn't a whole lot of, but
yeah, like your passion projects or your side hustle or your interest. I think that's another great way to look at it. With several of the gals in our last cohort were in that position. They have full-time jobs, but they were building a side job, you know, building a concept, building a freelance business or a consultancy. And so they were just using this time to dedicate to that project. It's hard, like you said, it's hard to find time for that.
yeah, but if you put something in your calendar, it's more likely to get done.
Definitely.
So explain what people can expect when they join a session.
Sure. So when you join a session, well, you'll see all the calendar every month. You can jump into whatever topic interests you. There's no limit to that. It's always an hour long. You usually try to end a couple minutes early so that everyone's schedules can stay right the way they're supposed to be. When you join, you'll meet the mentor that day, and then you'll have a facilitated conversation. So everyone gets to introduce themselves. Like we were saying before, no one gets to hide out. So come ready to talk about who you are and why you're there, and just share a little bit with the group. And then we'll interview the mentor. We'll learn about their background, their expertise. And then we'll do a little bit of journaling. We're really big fans of reflecting and self-reflecting. So we'll take about 5 minutes to journal on a prompt. We'll come back and we'll unpack it with the group. So everyone gets a chance to share what came up for them, maybe what their challenges are on that topic. And the mentor will be part of that workshop. So they may have input for you on, what you're struggling with, or other parts of the other group members might also have really good ideas for you. So just come with an open mind to see what input you might get or what new creative solutions you might learn. And then we will wrap it up. We always send people off with another prompt to kind of think about their next steps on the topic. And that's a wrap. And then it's done.
So I know you've alluded to this or referred to it a couple times, but there's 3 categories that the sessions are broken down into. So maybe explain those just a little bit more.
Sure. So the categories we have are design thinking, as we were talking about earlier. So those courses are all about the 4 stages of design thinking. We do that every month. So that's something you could take as a track if you want to, all 4 classes. The next category is business topics. So that could range from marketing, branding, financial planning, legal, fundraising, all different types of elements that you might expect in the business categories. And then the third category we call founder stories. And those are really digging into the experience of a founder and what they've learned from it, lessons they've learned, practices they've built, things that they would advise. And those are less of a business topic, more of like a personal discovery for them of what they've built for themselves.
So there was a session earlier this week that I was intending to go to. The sales doesn't have to be salesy. And I actually had it on my calendar, and then that hour got hijacked somehow. And I was really looking forward to it. So the sessions are now available to listen to. Is that correct?
Well, they aren't yet, but they will be. So we are in the process of building out a library of the sessions. We've been recording all of them since we started doing this. So our goal is to start releasing those here soon, and then folks can go back and listen. We're going to be producing them as something that's really a guided experience. So as opposed to just watching back a Zoom call and kind of not participating, it's going to be an audio format, and folks will get a chance to actually do the prompts along with the session. And so, yeah, we're in the middle of starting to produce those and get those put together. I think that's going to be a really neat thing for people to go through that and look at whatever interests them at the time.
Yeah, I've had a few members say to me, I'm sorry that I really wanted to do that, but I had a meeting or something like, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Are there any sessions that you guys are looking forward to that are coming up anytime soon?
Definitely, yeah. I think there's a couple coming up that I'm really excited about.
We got Matt Stevenson, Stronger Over Time, on Tuesday, and Matt's built a nonprofit, and so he's going to talk to us about what the first version of his nonprofit was, and how it has grown and changed and evolved over the years. And
yeah, his
great.
nonprofit is it's called Code to College, and he works with kids from disadvantaged communities and helps them get into internships and really in the creative industry. So he has some really great stuff to share. And then Mandy, you want to talk about that, Ben?
Yeah, Authenticity in a Regulated Field with Mandy Bach. She's an attorney in San Antonio, and over the years, she's learned how to be more authentic as an attorney, and she kind of had a struggle with finding her own personal voice in her own brand as an attorney. And so we're going to go through that and talk through that process of how to be authentic in a regulated field. So that's going to be fun too for anybody out there who's going through that.
Cool. So that's next week. And then we have some in August that are coming.
Yes, we do. They're coming soon. 2 a week in August. We're just in the midst of producing our
I know
August.
what one of them is, and I won't be missing it.
Oh, the one that you're in?
Oh yeah, you're coming up in August. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
excited to have you mentor. It's going to be so fun.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. That's like, I don't want to say it's my previous life, but it's a lot of my previous life. So,
Yeah, I mean, your previous life informs your future life, right? So
absolutely.
a lot to be learned from that. And that's what we love about the mentoring format is unpacking what you know and then applying it to people's work right now. And, you know, just because it's a previous life doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot to be shared. So
Right.
definitely exciting to have you.
So can you talk more about the quarterly cohort program? Because I know I have a personal publishing project that I'm working on. So I don't know if I'm quite ready to sign up for the next quarter one, but perhaps after that. But yeah, let's talk about the cohort program because I'm fascinated by it.
That would be great. Do you want to talk about it a bit, Ben?
Yeah, so we'll probably put up to 10 founders in the cohort to go through the program together. And so each week you'll come to 2 sessions. And each week we go through the theme listed in front of us. So first week we get into empathize and learning how to listen to your customer, understand the problem from their perspective that you're trying to solve. And we'll have a session with the mentor on it, and then all the founders will meet in a workshop where they're at and hopefully make progress on that phase in their business. Then moving through, next week we'll go through defining the problem further, and then ideate is coming up with the solution to that problem. What does it look like? What is it going to be? What is the vision for it? And then when we get into the last piece, prototype, what are you going to actually build in the world? What is it going to be? What are you going to put in front of the customer so that they can give you feedback on it? And yeah, it's a really fun, good time. The founders, one of the best parts is how close the founders can get through this process and build lasting relationships that can come from going through this process together. That's one of my favorite parts, is seeing the relationships develop.
Me
And also
too.
you meet so many people. You get to meet, the mentors are always so open to meeting outside of the cohorts and sessions. So you have the chance to link up with them after, brainstorm even further with their help. Yeah, it's overall a good time. Liz,
This is our last cohort that just wrapped up in
yeah.
the 1st of July. So this is our first online cohort, which we loved. We had founders from all over the country.
And Madi.
Madi from San Juan. Yeah. She put it through her space through the cohort. We had a team of co-founders. These 2 ladies founded a mural project for kids together. They were trying to pivot it into a box subscription because of COVID. So they were working on that. And we had some other really neat companies. They're all here on the site. And then if you look at our alumni wall, you can see all the faces. This is like our last in-person cohort at Soma Vita last fall. And it goes on from there. So just so many just amazing kind of innovative humans creating things from their personal experience. So I think my favorite part is just watching people connect with each other, like Ben was saying, and watching new collaborations form, watching people link up and create together, co-create things.
And so this is what do I want to say? This is an additional piece of the Unink. So if you are a member of Alkaloid, you can just attend whichever weekly sessions interest you, or you can apply to be a part of a cohort. And I noticed that you apply. So what's the process of applying to be in a cohort?
Sure. Go ahead. You want to go ahead, Ben?
Yeah, let's see if, so the founders apply first, and then we interview them to make sure that they're ready to go through the cohort. So we look for a few specific things in founders before they get into the cohort. And am I missing anything, Liz? I mean, it's just the interview, and then they start orientation. The next one, orientation, is last week in August, I think.
Yeah, we have August 1 is our cohort deadline right now for the applications. And once they apply, we'll interview, like Ben was saying, we're looking for a couple things. The one is to really make sure that they have a clear idea of what they're going to work on in the program, what they want to get out of it. And the second is to see, have they taken any steps towards that yet? Like, so what you're saying about having a side project and you're working on it, like we want to know, so what are you doing? Because if you have done nothing, it'll be hard to get a lot out of the the program, because you'll spend the whole program going, what am I doing? And so if we want to make sure folks have kind of taken some steps already and, you know, started to work on it, trying to figure it out. And the third thing is we're learning about their background. So when we build the cohort, we build this diverse group, you know, so we're learning about their experience, where they come from, all that kind of thing. So
You're curating the people that are a part of it.
Exactly. We're curating it intentionally, and we're just making sure that it's a good group dynamic.
Yeah. Cool. And I mean, I love the fact that there's so many different people here. So I'm delighted to hear that you are embracing that diversity as much as what goes on here as well.
It's huge, you know, that's like the key to innovation, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So next steps, what happens after somebody joins Alkaloid, and they can join at any level. It's not just the work from home program. I'm offering the Unink availability to anybody that is an Alkaloid here. So,
Awesome.
you know, sign up, and then they can sign up for Unink.
Yep, once they join your membership, they can sign up for Unink, and then they'll start to get weekly emails from us with all the classes that are coming up. They can also sign up for text alerts if that helps them remember when to come to a session. Sometimes we get a lot going on, so we got text alerts for that, and yeah, we'll just be in the loop as we publish content each month. And they'll get to see what's coming up. They'll get access to it's probably inside your membership as well, but they'll have access to our campus page, which we were just showing, that lists the whole calendar, gives them downloads of all the prompts. Eventually, that'll also be where our recorded content lives. So they can come back to it and grab whatever they're looking for.
So, sign up for any of the Alkaloid memberships, even the extremely affordable work from home membership at $35 a month, and you'll have access to the Unink to see their classes, apply for the quarterly cohort. And I just want to say thank you so much, Ben and Liz, for being here today and walking us through this.
You're welcome. We're super excited to partner with you guys.
Right. Well, I look forward to, actually, I think I might sign up for that cohort coming up.
Maybe you should.
I'd love to have
It's just 5 weeks.
I know.
Put that book through now that you said it out loud, you know.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you on a session soon.
Yeah, we'll see you on campus.
Thanks, Catherine.
Bye-bye.
Bye.